I don't know if I have any embarrassing stories, but speaking of funny stories for wrestling, I don't know if I've ever seen anything funnier in my life than a specific training. And Dusty, do you remember? Do you remember Spicy McHaggis?
Yeah.
So, big dude, short. He's probably like 5'7", 5'6", 5'7", and he's fat. I love him. I'm not trying to be rude by saying that. Like he's a big dude, but he is willing to do and try everything. And so, one practice we're going over the fish out of water drill. So like different pins and stuff. And there's this one where you stack the guy, so you stack him, and then he pushes your head, and you do a front flip into a different pin. It's difficult to do. We tried it like 10 times before we really got it, and I don't know why, but it's difficult. But Spicy's like, I want to try it, and we're like, all right, cool, whatever. So
keep in mind, he's doing the flip part.
He's doing the flip part, and for those of you that don't know, most of the move is because the person pushes your head. So you do a front flip and the guy pushes your head, and that's where the actual move happens. So Spicy stacks the guy goes to push his head, and Spicy lands just straight down on his neck. And everyone instantly is like, oh shit, are you okay? And without skipping a beat, he just goes, I'm paralyzed. And he rolls out of the ring, and I don't know why, but he rolls out of the ring, and he's like, am I taller?
Which made no sense. Am I taller?
Oh, and every time I think about it, I tear up laughing because it was so goddamn funny.
Oh, paralyzed.
What's your other story?
Oh, another funny story involving Spicy was he was wrestling Mike Camden on TV.
Oh.
Yeah. For WC. And Mike Camden was like, hey, can you he's like, hey, can you do a moonsault? and he's like, hey, can you do a moonsault or like a Vader bomb? And Spicy's like, oh, like I can do both, but I'd rather do the Vader bomb. Which Spicy in his head, like his moonsault was standing, and like he did on a crash pad and like went off to the side.
But he did it. So that's what he's like, yeah, I'd rather do the Vader thing. So somehow in the match, like it gets screwed up where he's supposed to miss, but he did the Vader bomb and squished Camden. So Camden did it. And then so he squishes Camden because Camden was supposed to move. So Camden goes, do the moonsault. And it was like a second rope moonsault. So he's like, do the second rope. And Spicy's always got off the ground and shitty. So he's like, all right. So 300-pound Spicy goes up there and fucking. Dude, it's amazing. But he hit it beautifully. It was incredible.
Yeah. But oh man. Just the idea of like just being like, yeah, do the second rope moonsault. It's just like so funny. Yeah, Spicy's the man.
Taco Bell?
I know. Oh, yeah. This wasn't in the ring. I have two actually.
All right.
We were going after a show in Seattle. Go to Taco Bell. This fat ass. So he orders a bunch of shit. We got caramel apple empanadas. You know it? Yeah, good, right? So she's walking up to the window. And so he previously had to back up to get to the window, like perfectly. So she's walking up to the window and she goes, oh, I almost forgot your caramel apple empanadas. And he goes, oh, I would have been so mad. And then, so she gets him, hands into this fat psycho, and he goes, thank you, and just drives backwards. Oh man! So yeah, he just looked like a fat, angry psycho.
Oh man, we were at a show in Seattle once, and before the show, Eddie was practicing something off the top rope onto a crash pad, and I'm across the building, like other side of the building. And Eddie does it, and he lands, and then he like laying there looks at me. He's like, "Come here," and like just like mouths, "Come here." So like I quietly walk up. It was like, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, "I've broken every bone in my body."
I've broken every bone in my body. Pull the car around. We have to get out of here. Got another one.
Oh no!
I got another one. This is an embarrassing story for Ricky too. One time we stopped at a truck stop, and we were with our other guy who stomped his hand, allegedly, whatever is. Yeah. Yeah. So me and him were walking up to the bathroom talking, and Ricky's already in the bathroom using the urinal. So he hears us because it's like a truck stop bathroom. He hears us talking, so he assumes we're the next person to come in the door. So the door opens and he turns around and he goes, "Ooh, occupado!" But it wasn't us. It was just some trucker guy.
Old man walking in the bathroom like, "The fuck is wrong with this guy?"
But yeah, that was that was pretty good.
Well, after we wrestled this team called the Strays in Washington, and they wrestle barefoot. And the month before we found out that we were wrestling them, they're like, "Yeah, this is gonna be your next match." And the first thing Eddie thinks is, "We're gonna suck on their toes."
Oh no!
Well, to be fair, they wrestled
Chris Bay and Sway Thompson.
Chris Bay and Swade, and they had a fantastic match. So I was watching that, and we were debuting against them like the next month. So I was watching that and watching all the shit like Chris Bay was doing, and I was like, "We can't compete with this fucking shit." Can I curse on here?
Yeah,
I already did.
Yeah. There's no rules.
Yeah. I was like, we can't compete with this. So as soon as like I saw everything, I was like, we have to put their toes in our mouth. It's the only logical.
So we wrestled them, and we put their toes in our mouth.
To be fair, it wasn't like we just were like, "Hey, come here, kid."
Yeah, like they put their toes in our
they're
mouth.
like Mongolian chopped, put their toes,
forced them in.
Yeah.
So anyway, after the show, we're on cloud nine. We had a killer match, a lot of fun. We stop at Denny's, breakfast of champions. It was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning, and this waitress brings our food. And she sets the food down, and like one of my fries or something drops on the table. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And without thinking, I was just like, I've had more disgusting things. I just sucked on a grown man's toes. And without skipping a beat, she's like, "Oh, if there's anything else to help with, just let me know," and just walks away.
I just realized in this moment she probably thought it was me. Oh man.
Yeah, we have a couple embarrassing stories, I guess.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah.
Let's see.